and judged, and it becomes your mind playing tricks on yourself. Nobody may even know it. And all of a sudden, you're playing these defensive tricks with yourself. She's really grounded. I gotta tell you, I look and I look and I look and I say, you're pretty well grounded.
And if you look at these little vignettes, you'd say,
well, thank you. Catch me on another day. Maybe I won't be as grounded.
Everybody has another day.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Everybody. Another day for you can be catastrophic. Another day for me could just be another day. You know, this balance that goes on. And you could feel that. You do this long enough, you get a feel for people when they come through. So, she's well rounded.
And you talk here
Thank
about
you.
purpose.
That means a lot because I wasn't. I was a mess. As you can read in the book, a hot mess.
I'm reading this and I'm thinking where you, and like Freddie said, to come out of this is grounded and happy and connecting. I mean, everyone in the studio today you brought, right? And so here you are connecting everyone else for their purpose because you believe truly in the connection of arts in the creative space. But you went through all of this, but yet on the other side, you talk about purpose. Clearly, to me, you were fulfilling your purpose of making a difference in people's lives.
Thank you. You know, that was then and this is now. And the only time I think about that, really, like when you say, you know, Jack the fitness instructor, which of course that wasn't his name, but yeah, I'm like, oh my God. You know, I don't really think back and then, you know, the gynecologist, the whole thing, like, did I really do that? Was like another lifetime ago, you know? But there's nothing I like more than bringing my friends together, like, you know, someone that might, helping people, like, you know, like I know, you know, just I want to promote Joe's art because I love his art and I love him, you know. I want to make my friend Brittany happy. I want to do things for other people because it's not all about me today. I don't, you know, my friends take care of me too, you know, they help keep me grounded. So, by the way, these are his sneakers. It says one side on the back says hard, the other side says work. Because when we wear our sneakers, we're working hard, right? Although this isn't really hard work. Now I'm hardly working because this is fun being here with you guys. I love coming here with you guys.
Well, we love having you. And I spoke to Brittany earlier, I guess the end of last week, and she was talking, we're going to hear her story after commercial break and meet Joe, that she's got such a great community and that you, Bonnie, are a huge part of her community of supporting her and what she's looking to do in her next phase of life. So it's pretty remarkable, all the people, all the things that you bring together.
You know, there's, you know, forget me, no more me. When I start thinking me, I realize that doesn't work anymore for me. It's we. I can't do anything by myself because by myself, left to my own devices in my head, I'm totally cuckoo. So I need the we.
It takes a community. All right, we're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, more with Bonnie Salco, author. Love Bonnie. We're going to talk to Brittany. We're going to talk to Joe. Maybe say hi to Gabriel. Also promote Girls Night South Florida. I'm going to get you all the link. It is November 10th, so save the date. I believe the formal link will be going out, but I think I've got a secret one that maybe I can share. Give us a call, 888-9944-995, Studio A, or write in, and we'll be right back.
Planning for the future should not be painful and needs to be discussed. From health, family, finances, allow qualified professionals to aid in your planning. Luhu Advisors have been serving South Florida for over 30 years. A licensed real estate broker, insurance agent, assisted living administrator, and certified senior advisor, Paul Solomon is the most qualified and well-rounded advisor for any task. Specializing in real estate, long-term care, life insurance and annuities, Social Security, government benefits, and senior housing. Luhu Advisors. Let us help you. Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
Hi, I'm Dawn Clifford, owner and founder of Clifford Insurance Advisors. Established in November of 1999, we focus on mainly health, life, disability, Medicare, and long-term care insurance. Specifically for people aging into Medicare or the self-employed or even employee benefits for small business owners. We can be reached by phone number at 561-880-0391 or by email info@cliffordinsuranceadvisors.com. Visit our website at www.cliffordinsuranceadvisors.com and even visit Facebook, Clifford Insurance Advisors.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Welcome to Movies of Del Rey, a family-run movie theater that has been serving the Del Rey and Boca community for over 30 years. Open Wednesday through Sunday, Movies of Del Rey offers great admission prices, low concession prices, and quality customer service. Movies of Del Rey provides the quality of the big box theaters without the price tag. Movies of Del Rey provides new Hollywood content as well as new indie and independent movies. It truly is a hidden gem. Whether you're hosting a private event, party, or fundraiser, or are looking for your next date night activity, Movies of Del Rey is the perfect choice. Come on down to Movies of Del Rey, located at 7421 West Atlantic Ave in Del Rey Beach, or visit us online at moviesofdelrey.com.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties. Open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back. If you're going to do it, do it.
What, sing, dance?
No, he teases
We got to
you.
get your music beds back in there.
I have music bed?
We have a new board up, so.
That's right. They don't know music beds.
We're going to teach her some music beds.
Oh, she's editors on the
Editors on the board.
Teach her quickly.
Editors
Wind it up and let's go.
on the board. Save the date, everyone. Girls Night, South Florida. It is at Pavilion Grill, right on Congress, November 10th. So definitely save the date. It is a free event that you're all going to want to go to.
That's right. Yes,
And
how
you can
doing?
go too.
And if guys are dropping their wives or girlfriends off, there will be a guys only meeting in the parking lot.
Right on
Because
Yamato
this girls'
Road.
night thing is all taking all the juice out of the air.
Thursday, November 10th from 6 until 10. And Bonnie's going to be there. So check that event out. More to come. We'll put the link out also. And Bonnie, you brought your friend Joe Franco with you. You've talked about Joe every time you're here because you see all the art. You see we've got new art. This is from Ken Bieberman and Mark Freeman. This is from Audrey Arb. So a lot of new artists. And Stephanie Jaffe is above you. She's from Miami. A lot of these artists are going to be in Art Basel as well. And you talk about Joe all the time. So Joe, I'm so glad to meet you, that you're here.
Glad to be here.
Tell us about your art.
So I've been making art for about 8 years now, and I started before then collecting, and I've always been very interested in museums and art in general. I'm a very visual person. And my art really took off in the last, I'd say, 5 or 6 years. I was involved in a terrible car accident in 2018,
Number 3.
where somebody unfortunately passed away. And for 2 years during that time, I was on house arrest. And during that time, I spent a lot of time in my art studio and in my apartment just, you know, letting my heart out on these canvases. It was like a way for me to get all my emotions, all my feelings out. So the overarching theme and motif in my art is about freedom. And I'd be more than happy to explain sort of like the symbolism behind it and what the different aspects of the paintings represent.
Yes, but I'm looking at them, and I'm looking at the design on both of them looks similar.
Yeah, so these are a representation of my signature pineapple. And to me, a pineapple, you know, pineapple is called pineapple because of the pineal gland that we have right in between our eyes. It's known as the third eye. And, you know, the word pine cone also comes from that same root because they're kind of shaped and the patterns on the pineapple look like what the pineal gland looks like. So outside from the historic sort of symbolism of a pineapple representing like the sweet life and luxury and positive, you know, just positivity, to me, a pineapple represents living in integrity, because when you live in integrity, you get to live intuitively. And they say that our intuition comes from our third eye, from the pineal gland.
Everything you said has so much symbolism. Last week we had a show. 3 guests came in, none of them knew each other, and they all talked about the pineal gland. And we have another artist, and in our lobby, we've got a beautiful ceramic pineapple that she makes. So I'm sitting here thinking you would not know any of this, but yet all these pieces come together, and here you sit with intention going forward in life. And it also means hospitality, right? We talk about pineapples are always a welcoming in their sense of fruit. I never knew any of that about the third eye or intuition on the pineapple and the pineal gland. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, why the 2 different designs?
So you know, it's just a common symbol that I incorporate in my art. Another common sort of theme that you'll see across my art that is kind of like, in my opinion, one of the most important aspects of art is developing your own style, a recognizable style that even if you've never seen a painting that's by Keith Haring or Jean-Michel Basquiat or Andy Warhol, just by the distinctive style, you could tell that they did it. So another sort of element that I incorporate are these vertical lines. So you see these vertical lines here, and you can see them on this one as well, and on a lot of my other paintings. The vertical lines, they represent prison bars. You know, I mentioned the car accident I was in. I actually had to do some time in prison. I just got out August 9th, so it's been about a month and a half that I've been free now. So to me, they represent literal prison bars, but for any other viewer, they're supposed to represent sort of the types of prison bars and sort of obstacles and setbacks that we face on a day-to-day basis. Things like financial issues, health issues, family issues, etc. But if you notice, the lines, they are colorful. So the message there is that although we all have our own types of setbacks or obstacles, there are really opportunities from a higher power to fight through and to find inner freedom. Because although I had to go through this terrible experience, I was able to, thank God, turn it around and really work on myself and find a different type of freedom that comes from within.
He's left you speechless.
No, I'm trying to absorb because there's a few things going on here. You
a
got
lot.
stories, you got the pineapples, and then you got the colors behind it and the significance of what is put together. Did you start painting this way 8 years ago?
It's definitely developed over time, but the common sort of themes you'll see throughout. If you look at another common sort of symbol or aspect that I incorporate in a lot of my paintings, it's not on either of these ones, but I have a signature flower that is also representation of a couple of things. First of all, flowers are positive, right? So, they say wake up and smell the roses or look at the flowers, right? And it's a way of focusing on the positive. But to me, flowers, they also represent the types of things that are worth pursuing in life. Things that you need to water and develop over time. Things like family, relationships, a good career. And they also are a reminder of what are the things that are not worth pursuing in life. Things that are like the instant gratification type stuff that in today's society is so prevalent, like social media, drugs, alcohol, shopping, all those types of things. So
How did you come to all of this thoughtfulness and positivity and reframing your mindset? Is it through recovery? The action, I'm assuming, was due to drinking or drugs or something that occurred.
Well, I'd say that the major sort of switch came after the car accident. I was involved in this car accident, as I mentioned, and my life really took a 180 degree. And it's crazy how life is so fragile. In 1 second, you could be going in one direction, and in the blink of an eye, I had a fiance, I was a month out from getting married, all these things, and in the blink of an eye, my life took a complete 180 degree turn, and here I am now. I mean, thank God I was able to fight through and be able to come out stronger on the other side. I think I'm the best version of myself today that I've ever been. And
Were you an artist before the accident?
I was, but I hadn't put as much sort of push into it as I did following the accident.
So the images are about coming out of it. I love all the symbolism, the bars, because we all have stories that go on in our physical life, Sally, that we're all trying to get through. And here you come forward with positivity, and it makes you think, right? Do each of your pieces come with a story, a written story of what the meaning is to you as the artist?
They should, because I believe that art is supposed to have two major components to it. First of all, a piece of art should, even without an explanation, just aesthetically be pleasing, right? Pleasing to the eye, should draw you in, should have positive sort of vibes emanating from it, even when you're not even paying attention to it, superficially. But then I think art is also a very powerful vehicle for spreading a kind of message. And that comes with, as you just mentioned, the story behind it. So I definitely should write these things down. For now, what I've been doing is, as I showcase my art, I explain the symbolism and the story myself firsthand. But I once gifted a piece to somebody in a different country, and he was a famous person, and it was a tribute to him. Mario Testino. He's one of the world's most famous photographers. And so in order to convey the message and the symbolism, I made a little video similar to like what we're doing now, and I sent it to him and the piece, and it ended up in his museum. So it's definitely an important aspect of art is, I think, the story and the message behind it, for sure.
Absolutely, because if, say, we took the yellow pineapple and we hung it there, everyone's going to walk in and say, wow, that's amazing. But then to hear your story behind it, and then you look at it differently, it makes people pause, think about their own life, their own boundaries, their own limitations, how they come forward, and then your story and how you've come forward to share, to help others, your purpose. Like Bonnie, we talked about your purpose in your book, your purpose to inspire others, just like we did with the Braille, with Stacey Mandel, to share that story. Everyone will have a new sense. Look, you can't hear a pin drop in this place now.
Well, it's funny because the pineapple, my son, when he was 14, and he talked about doing streaming back when he was 14, it was 10 years ago, 11, whatever it was. His symbol was the pineapple. And I asked him once why, and he says because it's rebirth. It's starting something new that you did before. You changed everything, and the pineapple is symbolic of a rebirth. And apparently I didn't know that was true until I found out and I looked it up, that it's celebrated as a different type of pineapple, the way a fruit, the way it grows. I'm also interested in the size of your paintings, because not only are you sending a message with these things, they're big. They're not small, they're not timid, they're not, they're big. You're actually shouting out whatever it is that these things are making you feel. Do you wake up every day with the same feeling on the pieces you do, or is this something that's growing inside of you, changing you, and you're putting it on canvas?
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely constantly growing, and as I hear other people's interpretations and what other people feel and see, it wakes up new ideas of what the potential meanings of these images could convey. So just hearing you, for example, now, in regards to the symbolism of rebirth, that sparks all these different types of ideas for potential new pieces and other ways that I could incorporate the same kind of symbolism in a new way. So it's definitely a constant evolution, and I'm always trying to think of new ways that I could spread a positive message. Because, today you have so many, forms of media that are powerful. You've got music and art, I think, are two very powerful mediums to convey messages. And you have so many artists nowadays that their art is very aesthetically pleasing, and it's very, beautiful with bright colors that pop. But the underlying message behind what their art represents is a little bit shallow. And so I think that, and in the music industry, that's, super prevalent. So I really think that it's an awesome opportunity to be able to take my story and my hardship and the tragedy, and be able to turn it around and use it for a positive message.
What I like about his art is that it's a canvas, and when you meet it, I already have some ideas that I want to put on this thing. My feelings fill up your canvas. In other words, the things that you're putting on there, if it's explained, all of a sudden in my mind, I'm going through my ups and downs and tribulations and sideways and everything else. That's what I feel that your art brings. And as you can tell, there's all sorts of art around us in here. Every one of these carries a story. But yours is a little bit different, because yours is coming from your soul. And I feel that when I see his pieces, because I saw a film, she sent us a film about some other pieces you had. It lets me express my feelings. I might have it in my text. It lets me express my feelings on your art. I don't even know if that even makes sense, because I can feel some of the things that you went through. And there's a lot of stuff that we have gone through, even to get here. And a lot of those stories can be seen on his canvas. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
But I think that's part of what Joe was saying, is as the artist you create, but as the one who is looking at it, the interpreter, you're going to have your own stories that resonate as we witness what they've gone through.
Bonnie, what are you going to say?
I wanted to say, that that's why I wanted to do his art justice, and it's so hard in my book because it's black and white. They're little.
Yeah, not
You
even
can
close.
You can see the in the gallery in the back.
Yes.
Like you can see, but you know these. You think these pieces are large? The pieces are huge. These are the tiniest pieces. Like he's got huge pieces. Aren't you doing a show coming up that you're going to actually be?
Yeah, so this is very exciting. About a week ago, I was accepted into an amazing gallery called the Magic City Gallery, which is in Magic City. It's a 5-minute drive north from the Design District in Miami. And they're going to be showcasing my art, and I'm doing an exhibition, an event on October 6th. So anyone who's watching or anyone, I'd love for you guys to be there. It'd be fantastic. And as Bonnie said, these are actually small pieces compared to, I really like to work on large mediums because I feel like the larger the medium, it covers up, you know, more wall space, and you can, the energy that it exudes is more powerful. I really like working in large mediums.
I can see that.
Oh, that's the video that Bonnie
her.
had.
It is the video, yes. Oh well, I can download it. I can see that it affects you the same way because you're feeling the things that he is putting on canvas. And it's funny because the bigger the canvas, the more you feel, which is really a unique experience. So it's kind of cool.
And I know him. You know, I've known him for what, like 3 years or something, and I know his heart. So it just makes me
How
happy.
did you
He's
meet?
like a child. You know, you're like young enough to be my son. You know, I don't have kids. Not that you're my son, but you know, I just, you know, I just love
Take
his
his name
work,
down.
and I just, yeah, I feel I know his story. So I
How,
feel
how
it.
did you meet?
How did you guys meet?
So Bonnie and I are close friends for about 3 years now. We live in the same area. And it's crazy how sometimes the closest of some of my best friends, I can't even remember how we met. We crossed paths.
Mutual
We
friends?
clicked, mutual friends, and we've just been super close ever since.
Mutual friends. And it's
Another
funny. So you share the same friends?
Mike.
Yeah, we've got a
Some-
lot of
Salad.
friends. in
Does
common.
everybody seem the same way? Is everybody affected his artwork the same way, or everybody has a different interpretation?
I think everybody that knows him just, you know, he's in his art. Like you could see he puts his heart and soul in it, you know, so I think everybody's affected, I'm sure, in a different way when they see different pieces, you know. Like, don't you have a piece that you dedicated to your mom, like the flower, the rose? No?
Yeah, I'd say definitely there's different interpretations and different reactions to it. People see different things, but you know, the overarching theme and the overarching message, I think, touches people in a similarly powerful way.
And since the accident, you went a 180 shift. Are you able to hold that shift and stay where you are?
Yeah, definitely. You know, my art name is Nucci, and I changed it during right after my accident. Nucci stands for new and chi, which is energy, the life force that inhabits all living things and you know, animals and plants. And so I really, you know, after the accident was in a very bad place, and I was recommended to go outside of myself and to volunteer at an organization for little kids that have autism and terminal illnesses. And so when I was recommended to do that, my rabbi actually, I thought he was crazy. Like, what am I going to do, like, a depressed person who just went through a tragedy with a bunch of little depressed kids? But when I got there, it really, you know, it brought this whole new perspective on life to me, because the kids were not depressed. These little kids that knew that they had several months left to live, or that were blind, or that were autistic, they were at summer camp, and they were having fun. They were smiling. They were reverberating their energy towards me, and I was reverberating it right back to them. And I couldn't believe how selfish and how small-minded I could be to think that my problems were problems when these little kids literally only had several months to live. Were having a good time and making the effort to make the best out of the day. So that really sort of like set this new energy in motion. And so I try to keep that fresh in my mind. I still work with these kids. I love it's called Friendship Circle, the organization that I'm working with now. And what they do is amazing, and I'm passionate about it. So doing things like that definitely keeps that new energy, to strive, fresh inside of me.
That's funny, because I was going to ask you if you talk to kids, or if you could go on the speaker circuit to high schools and share your story with them.
I'd love to.
Words of encouragement.
Right.
Interesting.
And before we go to commercial break, I have to ask Sally, who's sitting here. Sally Bernard is the host of Call Me Zena. Sally is a psychic medium. So I know I have to ask you a question because you won't volunteer.
Absolutely.
What do you see when you look at Joe or
I
feel?
I see a tremendous depth within inside you. My art also came from a very similar, I believe, to the way that I was never able to paint, and I was given a message 16 years ago. My art is very different too. And I feel I'm understanding everything that you're saying. To me, I had like a spiritual experience and have continued with that. It changed my life completely. I never knew that I could paint. And today I have about 150 paintings, and some people might say, what in the world is that? Because they are different. Lots of colors, a tremendous amount of colors and designs. I definitely can relate to what you're saying, and I can relate to your art. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I just want to tell you, you're definitely on the right track.
Thank you.
I'm a lot older than you, and I feel that I want to tell you that.
Thank you.
Joe, how do people find your paintings, your artwork?
Sorry?
How do people find your artwork for purchase or to view?
So the best way is to just come directly to me. To give me a call or you send me a text, and I'd be more than happy. I have an art studio, and I also have several pieces on display at this gallery and at different homes of pieces that are available. So the best way is really, or they could find me on Instagram too. But the best way for right now is just to go directly through me.
All right, stay tuned. More with Joe Franco. We've got Sally Bernard. We've got Bonnie Salcombe. We got to talk to Brittany also. And Gabriel's sitting over there doing some work. Joe, your pieces, your story, amazing. I think your story should go along with every piece of art.
Thank you.
And they're shaking their head. All right, more to come. 888-994-4995. Studio A, stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
When it comes to investigative services, you can't settle for inattentive or irresponsible services. PI Network of Florida is a firm that you can rely on for actionable insight for personal or professional matters. From surveillance and insurance claims to background checks and identity theft, the investigative services are extensive. With over 30 years experience and 2 decades of serving the community, PI Network of Florida is trustworthy and reliable. Call today at 786-768-4394. Trust your gut. Trust PI Network of Florida.
Amy Reshevsky can help you choose the right piece that will add some magic to your space. Amy Reshevsky has a wide range of art, from abstracts to mosaic tapestries, and she paints on different surfaces, such as reverse painting on glass, tables, wall hangings, and sculptures. Her work can be ordered online at amyreshevsky.com, or you can come in and see it in real time at the Brooklyn Cafe Art Gallery. She also does commission work, so if you have an idea in mind, she can make it a reality. She invites you to reach out to her at Facebook or at email at amyreshevsky@gmail.com. That's amyreshevsky@gmail.com. Have an artful day.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40 plus works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come down and visit the studio to view his work, or if you're interested in your own Jay Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com, or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
Hey travelers, everybody wants cheap airfares, but where can you find them? You call Smart Fares. Our prices are direct from the airlines and they're so low they're not published anywhere. Smart Fares specializes in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rentals, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, Smart Fares can help you get there cheaply and with the best price guarantee. If you want the absolute lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call us right now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these low rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the lowest rates available, so don't wait. Call Smart Fares right now for the best price guaranteed. Price guaranteed. Save up to 50% off business and first class. We've got great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 855-828-0198. That's 855-828-0198. 855-828-0198.
If your family is suffering from inflation and high costs caused by Lois Frankel's reckless policies, Republican Dan Franzese is clearly your best choice for Congress. Dan is a successful businessman who understands finance and economics. He's not a politician. Dan grew up blue collar and knows how tough inflation is on working families. Dan Franzese will go to Washington and fight the liberals who are killing us with inflation. Dan Franzese for Congress.
I'm Dan Franzese and I approve this message.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
Won't you take me by the hand? Won't you let me know what's up in your head? And I know, oh, it might not be the right time for you and me. And that's okay, as long as you're happy. Yeah, that's okay, as long as you're happy. Won't you let me know what's real? Won't you tell me just for once how you feel? And I know, oh, it might not be the right time for you and me. And that's okay, as long as you're happy. Yeah, that's okay, as long as you're happy. Won't you take me by the hand? Won't you let me know what's up in your head? And I know, oh, it might not be the right time for you and me. And that's okay, as long as you're happy. Yeah, that's okay, if you wanna be without me.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
It's green. And we're back.
I went to clean out the fridge Friday. We were all leaving
saw
at
that.
6 o'clock, and I said, Josh, is this yours? And whose lunch? He said, mine. I'll take it in a minute. And I opened the refrigerator this morning, and the bowl was still there, and his lunch from Friday was still there.
Yes.
Now it's in the garbage,
It's in the
I hear.
garbage. It's green.
You know, it's interesting because our crew, we get new crew, and they come through here, Nucci, and they want to purge and clean out and thin things out that are here. And down to even a little token, I'll know exactly where it came from. Everything in this place has a story, which is why we have a very eclectic feel. But every piece, every hope heart, everything has a story to why we are where we are. And when you walk through this and you tell your story, it all resonates, it all makes sense. You give them some hope hearts out?
Yep. It's funny because this was 5 years ago. There was a lady that used to do
Yes.
gratitude.
Joe Engelson.
Yeah, and unbelievable lady. I will tell you, she had a gig down in Fort Lauderdale that we went to see. It was a whole mall.
Gratitude training, yeah.
Whole mall. I mean, I don't mean a store. I mean the mall. And you go up to the second floor, and she had everything. She had thousands of people in this thing. And I used to say to her, how do you stay sane? She says, it ain't easy. And then the hurricane came through here and knocked and washed everything away. So we wanted to work with her because we wanted to have these hope hearts, these.
Well, she had
these
gratitude tokens.
Tokens. You still have yours?
Probably.
I still have mine. And these gratitude tokens were like gold medals. They were beautiful. So I said, what's the opposite of gold tokens? These. So we had these made, and on the front, it has the name of the show, and on the back, it has a saying that it's supposed to emulate how you feel and the things that you feel. And we gave these around, and they had numbers on them, if you look at the bottom, and you're supposed to register the number, and then you're supposed to give these hearts to people that need them. So we followed one of these hearts. They kept registering all over the world. It just kept going. And then people would come back and they would want more. But this was a great idea.
Our hope hearts.
This is.
I have mine.
You still have yours?
I do. I have it in my bag.
That's why we stopped tracking them, because no one pays it forward. Everyone keeps them.
No,
and
I
they
have
go
two,
to,
and I gave one.
Okay, and they go to the hospital with them. They keep them in their pockets.
Josh, here, so we can
So we
give
have
these
to
out.
pass out some hope hearts.
So it's just different. Over the years, there are different.
Let everyone pick one, like just like church.
Just like church.
Exactly.
That's okay.
You're
don't worry
good.
about
Keep
it.
walking right in front of the camera.
The funny thing is that in this place, every day, every week, every month, it changes. The artists change, the producers move on, they change, they get jobs. But everybody gets an opportunity to express a little bit of themselves in this place. A la this. This
Jack.
is El Jacko.
Jack.
This is Josh. I don't know why he did it this weekend. I guess he was bored. He had nothing to do.
But I have to ask Bonnie, a lot of people, everyone I think you've brought forward has been through some sort of recovery process. I don't know if you met them through recovery or through networking, but I feel as if, not your purpose, but one of your purposes is to show hope that as dark as it can be for people through addiction, when you come through recovery, the amazing hope and productivity and a whole nother life that comes forward, because there's such a misnomer to mental illness, to mental health, to addiction, especially where we live in Boca del Rey area. But you show a whole nother side of it. And I almost feel like you need to write another book or a collaborative magazine of all these souls that you gather to show their stories of hope and inspiration. It's gonna make me cry. To inspire others that it's okay on the other side. Even when it's bad, there's hope on the other side. I mean, what Joe went through, I mean, there's nothing more tragic than when somebody else losing their life, right? That you may feel or be accused that it was your doing of taking a life that was not an intentional thing to do. But I kind of feel like that would be such a way to share hope.
Thank you. Not all my friends are in recovery, so no, not all my friends are. But I do surround myself with people that want to, before I was with very negative people that didn't really want to, they were all about themselves. So now, being that I'm in recovery, I like to surround myself with people that want to give to the world. Actually, Joseph's family started a foundation called Miami Mind, which is an amazing foundation. There was recently an event at his family's home and at Fisher Island with some really famous tennis players. His dad was a very well-known tennis player, right? But they just want to help people, you know. And it was such a beautiful event for me to go to because you know, mental health issues it's like illnesses that they tell you, your mind tells you don't have an illness, there's nothing wrong with you. But when you're in a room filled with people that have gone through situations with people that have, you know, committed suicide because of mental health issues and all that, you realize you're not alone, you know? So people come together for a common cause, and they're just good people, you know? They're just good people, and they wanna help other people, you know?
I love that you bring all these amazing people forward. And before we get to Brittany, I have to ask, the secret of Gabriel over there. Are you an artist, a writer, you're working?
I'm a good friend.
Your friend, okay. Well, it's a good friend to come and sit and do work in the studio, which is pretty cool. So, and then Brittany reached out to us last week, and I spoke to her on Friday, and she doesn't know why she's here. She doesn't know what she wants to do next in life. We sent a producer to Atlanta. She's from production and moved here. And I said, come with Bonnie and Joe. And you said you didn't really know Joe so well.
No, I just met Joe.
But now you do. Just grab your mic. And it's one big happy family.
Oh, you don't know Joe either?
No, I just met him today.
On the car. Right up.
On the ride up, yes.
Carpooling.
And who drove? Gabriel?
Luna.
They drove the Mini Cooper. I drove, they followed us.
Gabriel drove my car with the roof down for them.
Oh, for the art.
I drove with Brittany to fit the art in the car.
So funny. Well, Brittany, welcome to the cafe.
Thank you.
How long have you been in Florida?
2 years.
Came from Atlanta?
I came from Atlanta. I'm from Bermuda, which is where I grew up. And the last 4 years I was living in Atlanta.
I've never met anyone from Bermuda.
Atlanta.
Ever met anyone from Bermuda?
Bermuda, London, New York, Atlanta.
Oh, London. London, we missed
Wow.
that part.
New York?
New York, what part of New York?
In the city.
Manhattan?
Just for a year, Manhattan, yeah.
A year's a long time in the city.
I was young then.
So now you're teaching acting classes and dog walking.
And I'm dog walking.
Okay,
Which
but
is
it's
quite
lucrative.
strict. Pardon?
But it's lucrative.
Yes, very lucrative, which was kind of the point when I moved here 2 years ago, just to do something different. And of course
that's
now I'm at a
different.
point where I'm like, oh, I want to go back into, you know, the art world. I haven't been feeling creatively fulfilled in a while, so.
Let's talk about, I don't want to talk about the dogs, right? Let's talk about the art world. What is that like?
My background's I grew up doing like acting on stage and a lot of productions in Bermuda, and then I went to do my undergrad and my master's in London, script writing. So I've written some, you know, short films and plays.
Anything we should know?
Nothing that's been produced, no.
Anything in New York? What'd you do in New York?
I was only there for a year doing an acting program at Fordham University.
Know it well.
And it did, yeah. And I had come from Bermuda, so it was quite a shock to the system coming from a
Going
small
to
island.
Fordham?
Yes. And then I moved to London.
You know, the Fordham is in the Bronx.
No, there's one by Lincoln Center.
Oh, you
in the
went
city.
to that? You went to the nice campus.
Yes, the one building campus.
Yes.
And what do you look at? And then you went to the world of production in Atlanta. And I was telling her how RK went there. He left
He's
here.
still there.
He's an assistant. I don't know what he's doing. But
He's,
he's working his way up. You said the hours are crazy. Production was crazy.
Yeah, crazy hours, but I also had like amazing time traveling the world. I actually got lucky, is a nice way to put it. My first gig was working on the Avengers, Marvel's Avengers,
Wow.
Infinity War, and I was a second unit director's assistant.
And what you assist doing? What'd you do?
Everything from bringing coffee to arranging travel and being a liaison with agents and producers.
Did you get to meet any of the actors?
Yes.
That
All
must
of
have been cool.
Yeah, had some interesting experiences with them, and then I went on to be a talent assistant. So I did assist a couple couple actors.
So you picked the talent. That's interesting.
Well, they picked me.
That's interesting. Most famous actor that you met?
Danny DeVito.
Mr. DeVito. Did he have hair at that time? Or?
He did.
No.
A
She's
little bit. A
young.
little bit.
I got to meet Danny DeVito in Tribeca. Very hilarious man. Man did not stop. These are Taxi days. He was on Taxi.
That was a long time ago.
Long time ago.
And now you want to get back into the creative space.
Just not sure. I mean, I went from acting to writing to assisting to coming here and doing teaching, and now I'm.
You never wanted to be an actress?
I did. I just never. I got caught up, in, in the wrong crowd, and have a similar story to our last two guests. So I just never really pursued it.
What's changed for you now?
Yeah, good question.
I'm the most grounded I've ever been in my life. I too have a story of, recovery and just being in a different place where I can, it says joy on here, and I do have a joy of living today that I didn't have before.
Do you want to be an actress now?
That's still there, but I don't.
What do you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up?
I wanted my own talk show, from a very young age. Like this would have been my dream growing up.
This could be a nightmare.
I wanted to be like an Oprah.
So let's assume you have a talk show, and you have a TV talk show. So it's radio, television, all that. Yeah, I don't want you to say you want to be like Oprah, because Oprah has her own style. We actually met a gentleman by the name of Russ Johnson, who was her producer when they fired her. He had to fire her.
Back from the news, like back in the day.
This is going back in the day in Washington, D.C., because they said that Oprah wasn't good enough. So leave that over here. What would your show be like? I'm curious. Putting you on the spot is, and I'm stalling for you.
It's good. I mean, it sounds cliche, but kind of the same, bringing purpose out of pain. That's just, there's always hope, and I have a story of hope too. And I love talking to people. I love writing stories. So telling people stories.
You're a writer.
Yes.
It's really interesting how this whole writing thing for the last 6 weeks has gone in a whole different direction, right? Artists, writers, musicians.
It's a creative space, but I love the bringing purpose out of pain. Because you all show the other side of pain. And when you're in it, and outsiders look in, I mean, Joe, I'm sure you were judged up and down, right? If your parents live on Fisher Island, we have some sort of understanding how you grew up. So when the car accident happened, there had to be judgment, like, everyone. You must have had opinions up and down.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy time. I mean, it was a pretty high-profile accident, and it was covered on every news outlet in Florida, and I think there was even on the New York Post and stuff, so it was definitely a challenging time.
Because it wasn't someone who, in a smaller town, in a smaller city where they're not known, huge high-profile case for you. So to take that pain and the elevation that it had to have of all the prejudgment that everyone has, and to come out with something of such incredible, beautiful purpose is amazing. And then Bonnie with your book. And
we're the Avengers of non-pain.
I love that.
We're the Avengers.
The Avengers of non-pain?
Of non-pain, yeah. Yeah. And, what other people think of us is really none of our business.
That's what he says all the time.
It's really funny because you always had the gift. You've always been this artist. You've always had that talk show. So I tell her, you have it. Problem is, you ain't caught up yet. Something has to always trigger you to get there or not.
Can I just say something
Yes,
about that? I
please do.
totally agree with what you just said. I also, because of my story too, so I can relate to a lot of this, is that I believe, I used to say, I believe, and I was told this again by Aldo, that you have to experience pain sometime to be able to appreciate maybe what to come out of your shell. I don't completely agree with that, but I can see that. I think that you had a traumatic experience. I actually did too. I was in depression when I started to start my art. I didn't realize quite how bad I was, but I realized it got me out of that depression. I think it's a gift that we have, but we don't know it until we kind of open up to, it's like hitting a rock bottom and then coming up into who you really are. And many times people don't take note of that, but many times people do. So I truly believe, I love your story. I think it's great. And should people be in pain? No, but you just sometimes look for something else. I believe this comes from a higher source. Our gifts do come from a higher power. So it makes sense that we would open up to something when we're in so much pain. We're asking for help.
Well, it's funny because sometimes pain can be defined in many different ways. Gaining weight, hitting your
absolutely.
finger with a hammer. Pain can come in a lot of different ways. But the object of the game, the gift is there. It's there.
It's
you're writing this book.
I think it's dormant.
Well, it is always dormant. We make it dormant. You're writing this book as a message that you have for people going back before you had your problems.
They say the only ones that know the edge are the ones that have gone over it.
Interesting. They've got a lot of information to share, a lot of stories of hope, truly.
Dawn and I argue all the time because she calls about manifestations, and I'm pretty sure everybody in here is going to agree the manifestation, manifest. I don't believe in manifestation. I believe you just haven't witnessed what you're supposed to witness. If I drop this bell, and if I drop it, and it's going to happen, it happened. Now I catch up and I drop it. Things happen in your life. You just have not witnessed it, or you haven't seen it, or you haven't accepted it. And 90% of the time is because you haven't looked at yourself. You got to look at your core. You got to look at who you are and say, you know what? Today, I'm going to listen to that voice in the back of my head. And we had this conversation, and then do it. I think 90% of the times we're afraid to do what we feel, because we're living the life that others want us to live. And until you get that right, man, it's going to be a long haul for 20s, 30s. I got a bunch of producers in here. I'm trying to bring them up to my age so they don't have to go through this. So they understand that it's okay to try something new. Just don't hurt yourself and don't hurt nobody else. But it's always been there. See, your gift has always been there. You've tasted all the wines. And you've picked all the grapes. Now it's time for us to drink from your wine of knowledge, as Shakespeare once said.
It's pretty amazing. And Josh, back to our morning show, why none of us are in the corporate world, because this does not happen.
In the corporate world?
In corporate world. So when you're in a creative space and your mind works, as our minds all work, that's why we do what we do.
Well, we talked about corporate world does not feed creativity. It creates productivity, but it doesn't create creativity.
Well,
so which ivity do you want?
We try to work in a world of acceptance and how everyone comes together. As Sally always says, there is no coincidence.
Exactly. No coincidence I'm sitting here right now.
None. We're coming upon 4,000 shows done. Wow. 4,000. Wow. Every day. When we were at iHeart, we were up there for 2 hours a day. Now we're in 3 hours a day. Sometimes we do 4 hours a day, just us. This doesn't include all the other shows that we do, the 30 others. And after a while, you begin to say to yourself, there's a pattern of learning. But the only thing that stops you from learning is yourself.
What do they say? See, the messages come. How many messages come a day? 7?
7.
But you have to read them.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It's been a while.
And what, about 800,000 on Roku? 900,000?
Over 800,000, yeah. I mean, the numbers are great, but what makes our place go is the people in it. It's the stories you bring. It's the paintings that you bring and the definitions behind it. If you brought me a blank canvas and told me, tell me what you feel, I could see you doing that. I could see you telling me that, because you just come from another part of the long artistic tree, which is kind of cool.
It's funny. Every artist in every piece in here has a story. Ken has his story, Mark Freeman, Audrey. Even Luna. All right, let's take a commercial break. I think Luna needs to go out.
She needs a walk.
888-994-4995.
Dog walk. Anyone know a
Is there a
dog
dog
walker?
walker in here? Studio A. Stay tuned. Bring the dragons. We'll
Bring
be right
them
back.
dragons down, baby. Not yet. All right.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there. Do you need a strong cup of coffee to get you through your day? Try your very own Brooklyn Cafe Show coffee, the official coffee of the Brooklyn Cafe Show. You can pick up a bag from us, or two. Contact us at 866-224-5422, or just stop on by. We're at 2400 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard, Suite 13. Come on in, grab a bag of our signature Brooklyn Cafe coffee. The cafe doors are always open.
Stephanie Jaffe is a world-renowned artist who creates one-of-a-kind pieces. Using a keen sense of color and composition, her vibrant collages and mosaics integrate eclectic elements such as vintage keepsakes and fine china with blown glass and fired clay to create whimsical arrangements. For more information about her work, come down to the Brooklyn Cafe TV studio or go to StephanieJaffeArt.com.
Welcome to Lost Harbor Spirits, a world where pirates inspire our spirits, treasures remain undiscovered, and flavors are infused with the essence of mysterious voyages. The distillery became one of the few women-owned craft spirits production sites in the U.S. From our award-winning spirits of vodka and rum to delicious gin, we're always coming up with some new and exciting flavors to keep your cocktails delicious and fresh. Contact Palm Beach Distillery at lostharborspirits.com to take a tour or purchase your favorite spirit at your local liquor store.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. Guess what? They want your money and they can take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter right over here that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you right now. So what do? You fight back by letting our team of experts work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And hey, we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws, and we'll fight really hard to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket. 5 minutes of your time right now can save you thousands of dollars. And the best part, it's a free call, so please call right now.
Call 800-651-4808.
Has your heater busted, computer crashed, appliance broken? Then you need ARW Home.
Life's been pretty worry-free since I got covered with ARW Home. Don't waste thousands of dollars on air conditioning, appliance repair, and replacements. Save that money with ARW Home. Protection plans that cover household appliances, systems, and electronics.
My air conditioning broke on a Sunday. I called ARW and they came out and fixed it right away.
Get your free quote today. Call or go to arwhome.com now.
Call 877-281-0289.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Nice job. Shearer's chocolate. We should give some gift cards away.
Sure.
This is good. Wow. You like the dark chocolate?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. How big a piece did you put in your mouth? Shearer's Chocolate up in Boynton Beach on Ocean Avenue. Give us a call. We've got, well, give $10. $10 gift card to Shearer's Chocolate. Everything is hand-dipped, family-owned business. It has been around for 30 years and absolutely delicious. You have a Hope Heart you're going to give away?
It's in my pocket.
It's in your pocket to give away. And everyone got a Hope Heart. So Sally's getting ready for her show on Call Me Zena, and we have to go back to Brittany on your show.
We're giving you time to think about it. What do you got?
I mean, I want to continue this theme of helping people share their story, coming out of despair and crisis and pain and transferring that to hope.
When you were going through what you were going through, who was your biggest source of support? Or what was?
I want to say my friends, but I know my mom was. I wouldn't give her credit normally, but I feel like I should give her credit right now because she never gave up on me. And she did actually, from some childhood trauma, she started a foundation, Cold Scars, Saving Children and Revealing Secrets, which is a nonprofit in Bermuda that's helped a bunch of schools and programs there to kind of teach, and educate the public on child abuse and how to prevent it and provide trainings.
And what was the pivotal point that changed you and said, you know what, I need to get help? Or a different type of help? Because it seems like you had a support system along the way that was providing you help.
Well, I hit many rock bottoms. The last one that I hit 2 years ago was more of a spiritual bottom. And that's kind of where, I had always had my mom's support, my parents and financial help. And I knew that I needed to do it on my own. And that's when I made the decision to move to Florida and kind of, friends like Bonnie, who lived here, and just immerse myself with people who were living the same kind of lifestyle.
And I have to ask you and Joe, because you both had family support, financial support, love from your parents. You came from great families. What do they say? Stuff happens. What was the change? When you say spiritual rock bottom, as parents, because you guys are about our kids' age, we do everything we can to support you. We're here for you. We love you. You've got this. You're strong. You're beautiful. You're smart. How do you hit spiritual rock bottom?
For me, it was realizing that, there was nothing, and no material thing, no treatment center, no, nothing outside of myself, I guess, was going to change what was going on in here. And it was going to, in a way, it almost prevented me from getting well because it was always there, that support and the financial help. And
so you need a creative release. Joe, you have your art, which brings the whole story to fruition.
Right.
You're able to share it through creativity.
Right. In
your message. Bonnie, you have your book. I feel like, Brittany, you need your creative Oprah moment.
Well, what's interesting is they've inspired me today because my creativity really seemed to foster when I was in the midst of the pain and the struggle, and I haven't really been creative in the last 2 years. Hence why I'm sort of in this new space of looking to create again. So they've inspired me, being on the other side of it and still having their artistic abilities.
They're pretty inspirational.
I'm kind of curious to know what was so, what did you feel that was so, you were getting up and going and things would work. What's the difference?
Then and now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a better place now to be able to probably do it. I think I've just told myself false beliefs that I'm not, struggling to be creative.
But you've always been creative.
I have.
So what has changed that you're not being creative now?
Belief in myself, probably. So.
And I think your generation, because a lot of our crew are around your age and our kids, which keeps me taking back to what Joe said. The insight you have found, it keeps coming back to my head, the social media side of it. for your age group, your generation, that instant gratification, the I'm not good enough, the look what everybody else is doing. And the phone is an addiction. There is no doubt about it. That scrolling is an addiction. And you and I sit on it all the time.
Yeah.
But we learned who we are at this point. You and I are fossils compared to everyone in this room. But it's harder for your generation to get away from perfection, I think, or what is perceived perfection.
Well, you know, you're basing perfection on somebody else's opinion. Somebody's telling you if you do this, you're perfect.
Or if you look like this.
Or if you act like this. Or if you smile like this. Or if you do a comedy like this. Or if you walk like this. Or if you dress like this.
It's not easy.
It is easy because you don't have to listen to that.
Well, Bonnie's right. Bonnie says that now.
You know, the DSM-IV, which is the mental health handbook, has an actual name for, I think it's social media depression. It's an actual thing. Yes. And I met a rabbi at this event, and his daughter basically, I mean, it's a common story. It's on his website, but his daughter, because she was left out of a WhatsApp thread, she
got depressed,
and she ended up killing herself because
Wow.
of that. Because that's social media. Because people go on, and why is it? And I talked about that in the book too. Like, why are they always so happy? And they're not. You know, it's some people might be, but you know, what are people going to put out there? You know, that they're jumping off of a ledge. Of course, I did, and that's when I got Baker acted. You know, but most people are not putting negative stuff out there. They're putting really happy stuff, and they're showing when they're out with their friends, and everything's wonderful. But you know, social media today is like when I was growing up, it's everything now.
But
Like,
we didn't have social media growing up. And in your 30s.
You did. You had your friends.
Social media?
Yeah, I had the whole building. I lived in a building. They would tell me socially, yes, say in your knucklehead. And yeah, same difference.
If you screamed up in your 30s, there wasn't as much social media growing up, but there is now. For you guys that are younger, and even those in high school now, your whole life has been influenced by social media, by perfection, by instant gratification.
You know what I find?
By a pandemic.
You know what I find so funny? Facebook is thinking about taking the number of people that view your page, whatever you put in. Like if you go like this.
How many
and
views?
How many views?
Likes, yeah.
They're thinking of taking it out because of exactly what you said. But it's so funny because if I don't have 15,560 views of people that I don't know any of these people, I'm going to get upset. I'm going to get angry. Why? If I got one and it's you, I know you, I say, oh, thank you very much. But I'm going to get angry because 1,000 people say, oh, I saw this? I don't even know who they are.
You think differently than most people.
Ay, Dios mío, Papa Dios, give me a break. Why would you get upset over people you don't know?
Because it's the anticipation of perfection.
Of what? Then buy
Perfection.
ketchup and anticipate that. Look at that thing pour. Give me a break. You're not going to put yourself under a rock.
and you can
because-
pay for followers. That's the funny thing.
That's the other thing. Let me pay for 500,000 people I don't know.
Right.
So what?
But even like I reached out to a publisher and they wanted to know what kind of numbers I had. I'm like, what do you mean? On social media.
They want to know how many strangers you know. Well, I know a lot of strangers. You know a lot of strangers? This is what I tell people. ROI? What is that 3 letters you put together because you're making money on it?
But you and I see things differently. We sit in a warehouse filled with art and creative minds.
But we've
Someone
saw
else
art.
would do this.
We
yes.
saw, or during COVID, we saw more art than now.
Yes.
I put a sign up over the weekend that says, they always say it's greener on the other side. Because all the donkey dust, all the poo-poo that they use to fertilize. Because it ain't always greener on the other side.
True that.
Why is it that we live our life from perfect strangers giving us acceptance? If people tell you, you know, your shoes look funny, you throw them away. But if it's the only pair of shoes you got, why would you do that? I don't get it.
Ask our in-house psychic medium.
No comment.
Call me Zena.
I see both sides of it. I understand what you're both saying, actually. But, you know, kids today are brought up with that. They're brought up with they're wanting praise for so many things. And if they don't get that or they don't get the likes, Unfortunately, they feel this is what they're meant to be having. They're meant to get all these likes. You're meant to like their picture. They're meant to look perfect. It's sad because
It's funny,
that's
when
not
I
the
was
real world.
pre-med at NYU, there was 15,000 kids in this medical school. And they said to us, look to your left and look to your right, because somebody's going to be missing. My job, this is what the professor tells me, is to make sure that we've got only 500 kids in the senior class. 500 kids in the senior class. That was their goal, right?
Right.
So I said to myself, why do I want to be a doctor in this school when they only want 500 people?
Right.
What, are they going to take brainiacs who probably aren't good with people and make them doctors? Really? I said, okay, I'm done with this. Done with it. We accept people that we don't know as our lifeline.
But they take it that it defines them, how many people are looking at their picture. That's not the case. They don't know them. So
And
how
now you
can
see it
be?
as a grandmother perspective.
Well, yes, I see that too. You know, my grandchildren also, they're very much on, as all kids are, on social media. And but you can't even tell them different, because from their peers, they're also hearing, you know, maybe you didn't look that great in that picture, or take another one, I look better. You're the same person.
Filters, filters.
That's right.
Right? And we all do it. But I have to
Everybody
ask you,
does it.
Sally, you sit in this space of hope,
Okay.
right?
yeah.
All these stories of hope. And you talked about this last week. Do you feel that the energy is changing of the collective, that we're actually bringing more hope and positivity forward versus the politics and the negativity?
Yes, slowly it's changing, but I think more people are becoming aware of what is really real, what we should be thinking about in this lifetime. I see it changing, yes. We've got a long way to go, though, unfortunately. But you know what? Every little bit counts. Everybody that is... I always tell people to be positive. Am I positive all the time? No, I'm not. But I tell people, and I try to be. I'm aware that I need to be positive because we put out what we receive. That's my motto, anyway. But it's the more people that are doing it. I used to say, well, just fake it. You know, it'll happen. And they see things happening.
Do you ever see negative things in your vision? Somebody asked me the other day.
I don't usually, but it's strange. Well, nothing's coincidence that you asked me that. Yes, the other night I had a really negative dream, and I woke up and I was actually shaking. That doesn't usually happen to me. Mostly it's positive. But, you know, there's two sides to this. There's the bad and the good, or the white and the black, whatever way you look at it. And yes, of course it affects me too, because I'm here. I try to see the good in most things, even a negative situation. But you have to work at it. You really have to work at it.
You know, it's funny you say that, because sometimes they'll tell me in here that I'm Mr. Negativity. And they'll all gang up on me. And they'll boom, boom. And I say, it's working. See, because if they didn't point that out, then I'm doing something wrong. Well, I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing. You know, the greatest gift that they gave us a long time ago, before the beginning of time, was a mirror. Because a mirror don't lie. You look in that mirror, you will see who you are if you look. If you don't look, then it doesn't matter, because these kids that are negative grow up to be negative. If you're insecure when you're young, you're going to grow up to do that. And don't tell mom and dad that it's their fault. No, don't do that. Because mom and dad gave you birth. Now it's your turn to make it work. To make it work. Nothing in life is easy. Nothing. And if it was easy, everybody would be good at it.
There's nothing more valuable to me than a friend that will be honest with me to the point where it's going to hurt. And I don't like it, and it's going to make me really pissed off. But then I'm like, you know what? They're right. You know, I don't want people around me that are just going to, yeah. You know, like, I don't need that, you know. We need to be real with each other and be honest with each other.
That's what I like about you, because if I'm having a dilemma or a question, I'm going to go straight to you. You're going to give me a straight answer. And there's nothing wrong with that. News ain't always got to be what you want to hear. News has to be the truth. And the truth is, look in the mirror, man. Just try that for a change. Don't listen to all the outside noise. You go through that door, when you go out there, there's going to be plenty of challenges. That's why I love it in here.
I know.
Because we get to sit in our world for a change. You guys are drinking our juice today, because this is the life we've been living for 7 years. People find it so amazing when they come in here. They think that this is an act. This ain't an act. I only know how to act this way. And you're an acting coach. You'll know the difference. If you're around me long enough, or you're around her long enough, or now even Dom, this is who we are.
Oh yeah, that's obvious. You're the real deal. There's no, you're real. Right, didn't I tell you guys? They're
Do you
like
remember,
real
I
people.
think it was like 5 years ago, we were at the other studio, our first set of interns. It had to be 5 years ago. And all of a sudden, he starts losing weight, and he's going to do his own show. And we looked at him and said, what was the change? And he says, I may sit here and not say anything. I'm thinking of you, Josh, sitting there. But I hear everything that goes on here. You've motivated me enough to believe in me.
Who's he?
Whoever the intern was, and it was 200 interns ago. And he came, it's one of our first ones. And he lost some weight. He stopped drinking soda. I mean, the little things.
Yeah.
But he knew by listening, he said, I may not say a lot, but I hear and I see everything that goes on here. And you've inspired me to be better, a better version of me. So it just takes one drop at a time.
That's right. Success is only measured by the end game, not the first inning. So yeah, you're gonna fail. Things that I tell you, you're gonna fail. Things that I tell you ain't gonna work. I coached a long time, and I told NFL players, listen, Mr. NFL, this guy was a lineman for the Vikings. Let me be the coach to your son. At the end of the year, if we don't win, I will give you your money back. And the man came up and he donated $10,000 to the league because we did win. Because they believe. And if you believe, you can accomplish anything. But if you don't, that mirror ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna tell you something. You want hard times, lie to yourself. And that's the hardest time you can get.
You guys, your stories are amazing. Gabriel, what do you do for a living?
I work with a logistics company.
He does the nuts and bolts of all the things you
He's
and I
the
don't like to
ROI.
do. He's the ROI man.
He's the ROI man.
That's very cool. What do you think about it here?
It's beautiful. It's a very nice place.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
Very glad to be here.
Interesting. Bonnie, thank you so much for bringing everybody.
My pleasure. It's always nice to see you guys.
Always great to have you in the house.
Thank you.
And Sally, what's coming up on your show?
Well, I never really know. It's a call-in show, so we'll just get the
Do you know,
collective.
Sally, that people, I don't know if you're answering all the write-ups that are coming in.
I try to do my best.
Because I
but-
got like 10 of them. I shared them with Dawn.
Oh, really?
For your show, people that are calling, asking questions.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I don't think VMix Social was working with Sally or was it? Oh,
We
yes,
have to
it
check.
was.
We'll check it.
They're going
Yes.
through changes through Facebook right now. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay.
So they write in, and I
Right.
get to see all the things that are written. I should copy them and just send them to you.
Yes, please.
But
I
people-
do get some. I always try to answer everyone that I get, but I haven't. I've had about maybe 4 or 5.
People ask me if they send us a question, say on a Friday, for you on a Monday, does it have to come from them for you to feel their energy?
No.
That
no.
was the question.
Well, that's a very good question because I honestly don't know.
That's
I
a good
believe that
question.
it should be their energy, but it's still a question. But I might get the energy for that person. That's I don't know.
And you don't know if it's going to come through, if it's not.
The answer may come through, but it may be for that person, whatever the question is. That's actually, well, no, because they can type a question. I can answer that. So
That's what I've been getting is the questions typed.
that's okay. I can answer that.
Okay.
I have
It
been
has
able
a
to.
city and a name.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
And are you coming out with version 2 of your book?
I am. Yes, Lynn is going to be doing
heard
that.
that, which is
Absolutely.
very
And I was
exciting.
told there'll be a second one. Yes.
And the artwork you drew.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'll see because
See, now I got to get another copy of your book. I got to get the second edition now to understand
it'll
the
be
art.
different. I'm going to start from way back, I think. I touch on that. It was mostly what was happening to me at that time because I had no idea it was going to be a book. So I
You
was just
talked about the
documenting.
pain also of having money, moving here to the States.
I'm going to get, I am going to put that in my book. I think it's I love to help people too. I want to show people that, and again, anything is possible, but I always say if you believe, and that's my motto, because I truly believe that. And so much happened to me right in the very beginning. I think it's a story that people maybe relate to, but even not, to see that there is hope at the end of this tunnel.
I was asked whether or not you're going to be teaching how to do the skill set that you have.
I don't know so much if I can teach it, but I can tell people to listen, to themselves, believe. the way that I can help people or maybe teach them is to show them what I followed when I didn't even understand what was happening. But I did follow kind of what my intuition, and it's led me now to some fantastic places, you know. And I show them my art because they say, well, how do you do that? I don't know. I can't.
You ever get
amazing.
You ever get that little voice in the back of your head, and you hear it giving you something, a suggestion or something else, or you wake up in a dream, and you get up and you sit on the side of the bed and you say, "What the hell was that?" Because it's a dream like you've never had before, things of that nature.
Well, I listen to that because everybody dreams. Not everybody remembers their dreams, but you can usually remember a few. We have many more, I believe. But my dreams that I was getting when all this happened, I couldn't even forget. I mean, I could see every single detail. I could show the street that I was going along. I could even tell you what people were wearing. That wasn't a normal dream. I knew something was going on for me, again, and I sat up and I listened to that. And that went on for a year, so I followed my dreams.
It's interesting, right? She's got a lot of. I had a dream I was fighting with you over the weekend. What a dream!
That was a nightmare.
I was like, I'm like, you can't do that, and you didn't tell me you were going to do that. And I'm like, wow, that was a crazy dream. Kind of
That's about like every day.
That's kind of like a dose
That's
of
not
Monday
a dream.
morning.
That's every day. You say,
Exactly.
you know.
So check out Call Me Zena today at 3 o'clock if you have a question for Sally as a psychic or to connect with somebody on the other
Or
side.
come in.
Come in,
Come on
questions.
in.
Yeah, that's
Please
so much
come in.
easier,
That would
right?
even be better, yes.
If you come in, you'll get the feel of what the
Yeah,
question.
please come in.
look
It's
like
a beautiful place. I love it here. I
You
love
gave
it the
Josh
moment I
hope.
walk in. I love it.
Right, Josh? You're on the right track?
That's my spiritual guidance.
Absolutely. I feel the connection. I know that.
Josh has spiritual guidance?
Yes, he has.
He does.
Sally,
He does.
it's pretty cool if you work here on Mondays with Sally because
Yes,
you kind of have like your one-on-one built-in
Yeah,
psychic
beautiful.
spiritual
I
guide
was
here.
talking about you the other day, actually. Yes.
It's a perk of the business.
Yeah, I was talking about you too.
Uh-oh.
He's got this, and then he's got your other 3 o'clock. So it's a perk of the biz.
He's a well sought after gentleman, as they
Right.
say.
So check out all the art from Joe Franco. Joe, what is I'm going to give them time to get your spot up, your IG address.
My Instagram is Nucci, KNUCCI _Franco. And my phone number where you can reach me is 305-987-9264. 305-987-9264. Give me a call. Add me on Instagram. And yeah, I'd love to get in touch if you're interested in looking at some of my art, purchasing some art, whatever it is.
Your story is
I had a
inspirational.
question for Joe, real quick. Joe, there's a new concept that I had. I was talking to some realtors, and they're doing open houses. Now, you know how interest rates are going to go up a point, so apparently the world's going to end because nobody's going to buy a house at 6% interest. You ever thought about open houses and hiring an artist to fill the venue with your art to make it more sellable?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. And I was actually just talking about something similar with somebody who does Airbnbs. They purchase properties, and then they list them on Airbnb and rent them out. And so we were talking about maybe doing some sort of a program where I could essentially rent the art out. And so that way they'd be able to have it on display for an agreed amount of time and pay for that amount of time, and after which the painting would revert back to me for somebody else to either rent it or to purchase it.
It's a nice idea.
And wasn't someone talking to you the other day that in the house about maybe doing some graffiti art on a new building?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Which is, I mean, I'd love, if I had a building, I'd want him to do my outside art for the building.
Put them on a crane, 60 feet up.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story.
Thank
no one
you.
can tell your story as well as you do, so I can't wait to see how you write it, put it on paper,
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
and share it all. Bonnie, love Bonnie. See, one interview from Girls Night South Florida has turned into an amazing collaboration.
Yeah, he's just, well, yeah, you're in, I mean, I said it in the book. He's brave. That's the chapter. Brave is my friend. This talented
How do we get the book,
artist. You can go to Amazon.com. You can go to Bonnie South. Go to my Love Bonnie Facebook page. You can go to my Instagram, which is Luna Lola Luce. I forget what it is.
The
believe
dog
it or not.
knows. Luna
But
knows.
yeah, and it's also it's on Ingram Sparks also for like bookstores and stuff to purchase.
And if you buy the book, come on down. She'll sign it for you. Maybe she'll even put a little something paragraph. in
Maybe
the
she'll
back
even
of
put
it.
a little crystal on there for you.
Yeah, the ones you get on Amazon don't have crystals and they don't have signatures. You have to get those from me.
That's right. Come on down and meet the artist.
And Sally Comizine today at 3 o'clock. When can we expect this edition too?
Hopefully, maybe in about 5 months, I'm going to say.
Wow.
Maybe quicker.
She thinks it's 5 minutes because you already wrote it and you're going to redo it.
No,
She's
no,
doing
it's going to
new.
be
She's gonna do
totally.
it.
Well, it's not going to be different, but there's going to be more in it. Much more
She's
in it.
going to add to it.
I'm
And
gonna
I love
add.
the fact that Lynn's helping her do it.
Yes,
It's
I-
the networking that we get to do here.
You
Absolutely.
know, I'm going to write a book. It's my
Beautiful.
turn.
Okay.
should.
I got 7 pages. That's the name of my book, by the
It's
way.
my turn.
7 pages.
I thought it was going to be It's My Turn.
My turn.
It is your turn.
Make up your mind.
7
Which is
pages
it?
or
7
It's My
pages
Turn?
is my turn. Something like that.
If you need a ghostwriter,
I need a ghost.
No, we got plenty of those.
Well, come to me.
Just
I'll
be here at 3
introduce you to
o'clock.
one.
We'll have a room full of them in about an hour.
My book is going to be all about interviews. How you doing? My book is going to be interviews. So I'm going to interview you. That'll be the first chapter. I'm going to interview you. That'll be the second chapter.
perfect.
And then I'm going to change all of that at the back of the book with people I used to know. I'm more confused.
And Brittany, more to come. If anyone's in Miami and they need a dog walker, they can find you.
No, I think you're still going to do that, or are we moving on to something else?
We're moving on to something else.
I'll move on, but I love dogs.
You do? You wear that
Be a
glove?
dog walker.
You have the glove and all that?
And the leash, yes. All right, we're going to wrap this up. Have a great Monday, everyone. Stay safe, be kind to each other, and yes, there was always hope on the other side. Tune in today at 3 o'clock for Call Me Zena with Sally Bernard. You can write in, you can call in 888-994-4995 Studio A and ask a question or get in the queue, as they say. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
And Cece, we love you. Thank you for letting us use your music on
Yes.
today's show. Don't be late. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Broken Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.